County Commission meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Donna, please note that all commissioners are present this evening. Any change to the order of business, anyone? Any executive sessions we need to know about? None.
Okay.
Move on to the prior minutes.
I'm sorry, you don't have
I was
any.
gonna say, I don't have August 13th, but maybe my fellow commissioners got something I didn't.
Nope.
Guess they didn't either.
Not this time.
Move on to the consent agenda, items A through G.
I move we approve the consent agenda, items A through G as presented.
I will second that motion.
Donna, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Move on to issues from persons not on the order of business this evening. Mr. Domi, you want to come up? Do you have something to say or not? Huh? Do you have something you want to come up and say? Yes.
I'd like to,
Just come up and, I know who you are, but I don't think my fellow commissioners do, so if you want to come up and just introduce yourself,
word.
there you go.
Hi, Flores Domi. I live a mile up east of Piper. And I got a little few pictures here that on the county line, we have no more ditch on the blacktop. It's running over my just come out, look at my fields, how it's washing 3 different areas where it goes over the blacktop. And I'm not in here trying to criticize nobody, but when you have no ditch and we're 18 inches from the blacktop, I don't know. That's been going on for quite some time. And I'm not the type of a guy to tell somebody or criticize somebody. But when I step on toes, I just can't understand that. We got that ground rented, and all my life. I got ground rented since '59, and I take care of it like I own it myself. And I can show you the pictures.
Sure.
I just like to kind of show them to you.
Yeah. Bill, would you like to come up also?
What, man?
Bill Ring, he is our Public Works Director, so if you'd like to show him also. He'd be the one that would come out and take a look at them.
You bet. See here, that's where it went over the blacktop.
Okay.
Here, that's how far it's been worked, And look how, I'm not trying to criticize nobody or try to come in and run something down. But what I'm getting at is when there's no more ditch.
Bill, did you want to say that?
I didn't know anything about this.
And I know how been some time ago, I read in the paper, you're supposed to say so far from the road, And I'm a great believer in that. I think if we would charge everybody that worked the ditches, we'd have a pretty good crop. And I think, why? Just look at here. That's how far it was worked here.
Okay, well, we can come down and take a look at it this week if you'd like.
No problem. And
It
then,
needs to be scraped out.
Huh?
We can bring the excavator down and scrape it out.
well, I know where you're going to put the dirt. It's practically level with the blacktop. Unless you dig it and put it where it belongs. And there is that's no reason for the water to go over the blacktop. If you take from the culvert, they got a culvert in there. I'd say about
What makes sense?
from the culvert on east, it varies a little upgrade, But if the ditch would be put where it's how it should be, that water would run, most of it run east on a big draw, But we don't use it, And I just feel, just like you see here, how, and on that other side here when it rained, they tried to open, do something, but there was no impossible. It was water, it was muddy, and it was level with the blacktop,
Okay.
And I can understand that could happen, but that's been going on for some time.
Blacktop lower than.
And I respect the blacktops. People don't realize what blacktops mean. We haul wheat to Victoria. We hardly get during harvest. Don't hardly get a blacktop. I mean, flat tire. We haul to Glacier. We have every day. We have. I've always said, to every commissioner we had, I know I hate to pay taxes too, but we don't realize what blacktop means to an area, to everybody. This day and age, your cars aren't made to go out like years ago. And I'm a great believer, and I hate to pay taxes too.
Can you write down your phone number, and I'll
Yes,
call you
sir.
tomorrow, and come down there and look at it? Would that help?
Well, it's up to you guys what you want to do. That's been going for quite some time,
Thank
and
you,
I
Phil.
hate to come in here and complain like that.
But you can call me anytime.
Because that's the first time in my life, that's the second time in my lifetime that I'm doing this here. And the one time was, we fought for our blacktop and this here now. And I don't I know things happen. But then when
You can
this,
call me anytime.
when this goes on for so long a time, on the blacktop,
Right.
that hurts me more than anything, to see our blacktops go to the pot. We don't realize what blacktops mean to the county.
I do.
I hate to pay taxes. I understand that. But this day and age, people, there's no way to get around. You get criticized if you don't pay no taxes, the commissioners. I went through some of that stuff already. But I'm 100% for the commissioners to back the blacktops. I don't care. In our case, we could pay $100 a mile to Victoria, and our blacktop, our tires would benefit that much. But this here is very important, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right, we'll come down there and I'll call you, and we'll come down and look at it,
Well,
We can get it cleaned
you can see how level that is.
right?
And on this side here, it was that far from the blacktop where it was worked. I can't understand that.
We've had a large amount of rain also. We've had a lot of rain.
I know that. I understand that.
And
Ground
it is pretty
saturated, it
flat
won't go
down there,
in,
Bill.
so-
It
Yeah,
is-
but then
it is very
if it's
flat
no
there.
ditch, no matter what you do.
Well, if there was a ditch, it'd fill it too right now. The amount-
I know,
5 inches of
I know
rain
you
down
can't do
yesterday.
nothing now. I
Yeah.
understand that all.
Well, we'll come down there.
But I know where you're gonna put this. You gotta put it where it came from. Because that ditch is level, There's no way.
They'll come down and look at it.
They'll
and-
get it figured out.
You can go ahead and there's only one way to do it, is clean the ditch and put it back where it belongs.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Okay?
And then, see, there ain't that much water really goes over that road.
Put your arm around him and tell him to.
I'd say about a little better than a quarter mile.
That's that Bill.
Where that water starts coming,
Because this is.
it goes
go on
east
for some
on a
time.
blacktop like it's the blacktop. And on further south, that water goes to the south and runs into a draw and goes across the road and goes to a big draw. There's no excuse. There ain't that much water.
Okay, well, we'll come down, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay,
Will that work?
sure, ain't
Okay,
fine.
all right.
sounds good.
I'm pretty well flexible as far as time. If only if you give me a few hours, or if you call me in the mornings, till 10 o'clock, I'll make a point,
Okay.
or around dinner time.
That's fine.
But I'd like to have you guys look at it, and
Sure.
and then use your not much you can do about it. You got to clear the ditch. There's no way.
Right.
Not much you can do about it.
Okay.
And I understand you can't do it. No, I understand that all.
Okay, Bill,
But why hasn't
you'll
it been
report
done
back to us,
before?
right?
Yes, and I will
Okay.
report back to them.
Yes.
I'll report back to them that I met with
Okay,
you.
whatever.
Hey,
your time,
Thanks
Pete.
for
Thank you for
being here.
coming.
We
I
appreciate
didn't
it.
Get
No,
mad or
thank-
something like that.
no, thanks
No,
for
you
coming.
have every right to tell us.
Had a pretty good feeling the last week here when you live next to the hog farm. People, please, never in Ellis County have that. You don't realize what we're going through. I gotta build the waterway now. It's not big enough, they claim, to handle the water.
Well,
They raining water on my cultivation ground, which the Rush County people say that's a no-no, you can't do it, you know. But I gotta go ahead and get me an attorney. To make that waterway, it'll probably cost me about $10,000. And why? Why do I have to make a waterway for them?
well,
But nothing you do about it. And
unfortunately not.
what I ever say, no, never let a pig farm come to Ellis County for the best you can do. Because what we're going through, you wouldn't believe it. We got 5 foot on the right of way. We have a fence. They put dirt right on the middle of the fence like that. About 20 foot wide and about 15 foot high and about 200 foot long. The fence is still laying flat, you know. It was surveyed. And then they went ahead and drove over the post and everything's going. They got the power. My attorney, I asked him, can we get together and get to agreement? Didn't do it. My attorney wrote a letter to him, not gonna pay a penny. They ruined 3/4 of a mile of my fence, burned it, and posts and everything, and burned our grass, burned our CRP, and put that dirt on our fences, and won't pay a penny. My attorney said, I've dealt with a lot of people, but not people, you just couldn't make sense with him. But I got to get an attorney. The damages is appraised about $18,000. And my attorney would cost me 20. What would you do?
Yeah.
Thanks for the time, people.
You
Thanks for
bet.
being-
Thanks for coming. Safe
I've
travels
been doing
back
this
home.
week so much.
Yep,
I'm
and
upset.
Bill be
Thanks a lot.
seeing you tomorrow. Thank you. Darren, outdoor weather warning sirens.
Good evening, Commission. Darren Myers, Director of Fire and Emergency Management. Here this evening to discuss with you the outdoor warning sirens throughout Ellis County. As the Commission knows, probably before each of your terms, there's been money set aside in Fund 16 to purchase these sirens. However, unfortunately, back then, the project did not move forward. Hopefully, this is the last project I present to the Commission for quite some time, but however, this is a project that does need to be done. It's been identified since Bill Ring was the Public Works or Emergency Manager several years ago. We went out for RFP, and I've been working with the cities of Ellis, Victoria, Fort Hays, and the city of Hays on everybody's sirens, so that way we can look at this as a community effort, not just Ellis County, but all the communities within. So to make sure we work on getting the best price with the most purchasing power by looking at it as a larger project rather than just for Ellis County. We've also partnered somewhat with Midwest Energy on this. Midwest Energy has dedicated some time and money to this on selling us the poles at a lower cost, near cost for them, as well as providing the man hours and equipment to install all the poles for us, so that way whichever vendor would have received the bid, that they would not have to worry about that part, and it would save Ellis County some money as well as Victoria and Ellis. I've also tried to secure a grant for this. However, I didn't hear back from it yet. I was told that it was reviewed this year. However, we won't hear the outcome of that for at least about another 7 to 10 days. So unfortunately, with the way the commission meetings work and councils between the Ellis County, City of Victoria, and Ellis, which some of them only meet once a month, it would put, if we were to push this off, it would push the project back until the install dates would be too late into the winter, or it would almost be, it would be a lot harder to install the equipment come January, December timeframe. As of now, if we proceed, we'll be able to start the project in November to December. Hopefully, it'll still be somewhat nice by then for them to be able to install the sirens. I know I put a lot of information in the packet, and obviously I'm not going to sit here tonight and read off every bullet point for all the pros and cons. The main thing that I want to point out is the sirens we currently have now, we have no way to track if they're working, if they're not working. If we have a storm come through, the commission's very well aware that the power is usually one of the first things to go out. If the power goes out, the sirens don't sound. And if there are any way to know that they're not working, it's got to be dependent on somebody in the community or a public safety official to call in and say that they did not sound. With the new system, they'll all have battery backup. They'll all be connected to a server here within Ellis County, so that way if anything ever goes wrong with them, they fail to operate, the power goes down, somebody plows a telephone pole over in an accident, will immediately get called or get emailed and notified, so that way we can get service out to get the sirens back up and running. As well as it puts the complete sirens of Ellis County, the cities of Victoria and Ellis, and the city of Hayes all onto one system. It's cheaper for maintaining the sirens in the future, and the activation points become a lot easier. It's detailed in there on how we activate them now. It's kind of cumbersome, a little bit flawed. However, it leaves it open to a lot of interpretation from when the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning on whether or not to sound the sirens and which ones to sound. On the new system, if Ellis County is placed into a tornado warning and the National Weather Service issues a polygon, which is the area they usually focus the storm on, as soon as the National Weather Service issues that polygon, the sirens that are in that polygon automatically get set off without any human interaction. So it increases the sheltering time, the notification time for the residents in the community to take action and to take shelter. We do on the backside of it, if a Ellis County storm spotter, a sheriff's department, a fire department officer gets out there and sees something, we still have the backup, the old way to still be able to activate the sirens as well. Those are the biggest topics. As I said earlier, this is a community-wide project. I'm leaving here this evening. That's why I asked to be first on the meeting agenda. Dependent on our vote here tonight, the cities of Victoria and Ellis are awaiting that, so that way they know if they can proceed as well. I've talked to both the mayors in both cities, and they've given me no indication that they will vote against or not want to proceed with the project. They are used quite a bit. Last 3 weeks ago in Ellis, when the St. Mary's School was damaged, high winds, unsure if it was a tornado or not. That was the last time that they were activated. And the residents of Ellis County are pretty dependent on the outdoor warning sirens, so they feel they are important. With that, I will pause, take a breath, and let the commission ask me any questions before I bore you to death.
I have a question. There's an extended warranty option for $6,240. How often do you think you'll need repair of these sirens, and would it be smarter to pay for that now? How long does that extended warranty last?
When we purchase the sirens from Federal, if that's what the commission chooses because they're the low bid, they are the only vendor that offered that. The extended warranty and the preventative maintenance program are two different things. The maintenance program would be for them to come out once a year, just like you take your car in to the shop for lube, oil, and filter. But that doesn't replace the batteries. However, this company would replace the batteries for us on a 4-year cycle at no charge. The other company said they would charge us. The extended warranty option would be it would actually be year 3, so 3 years from now is when that would go into effect. And the reason it is more expensive is because they would actually come out, service it, replace all the batteries, and then if any parts go bad, the parts are included in that price. I felt that was a little too expensive for us to venture into an additional $6,200 a year. Well, I guess it'd be about another $4,000 on top of the preventative maintenance program for us to add into that. I'm looking back on history and references. A lot of the other agencies that have these types of sirens do not have a lot of issues with them. Does that answer your question?
I think at the end you did.
I just don't feel that it would be the cost justified
That's
to pay
what
that
I was
extra.
asking. I wondered whether we were, pinching pennies when perhaps it would be wise to do that. But you answered my question at the end when you said this is not likely, but
It basically takes the per siren cost of about $200 up to $780 a year. So if you look, the $200 are not including batteries. If you include the batteries, it goes up to $780, and then any parts that may fail in the future. We could get the luck of the lot, and we could have a couple sirens that malfunction, and we have to pay for it.
how long does that extended warranty last, however?
The first
You
2
tell
years
me.
are included in the
I
project.
understand that.
And then
The
every
extended
year after
warranty-
that is every year that we decide that we want to pay for it,
So
So
you'd
we
have to
could
pay
do-
the $6,200 per year?
per year.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought it was a one-time
Well, if it was a
option.
one-time, I would definitely be suggesting that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's per year per siren.
There's pretty siren, yeah.
That's a
And
good
these
old
costs were
maintenance
based on having the city of Hayes, they have 6 sirens that they would also be including into this project as well as on their maintenance program. One thing that's another good thing to note was, like I said, they are, with this signal company, they are taking the program platform that's at the city of Hayes, they're extending the license, upgrading it at no charge to them, providing it to us at a reduced cost, actually at no cost. It's saving the county at least $7,000, and giving one software package to the both of us, so that way we don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
Marcy?
Well, I don't have any questions, but I do know that this was discussed several years ago, and it was passed over at the time, and nothing happened, so I think it's time that we do something.
And you answered all my questions the other day. I just asked Darren about the maintenance agreements that we seem to have on every time we buy a computer program or something. You know, we have to have a maintenance agreement all the time, so I just asked him about that the other day. Any other questions, Barb?
That's it. That's all I have.
Okay.
I move we allow the Ellis County Emergency Manager to purchase weather warning system for Ellis County in the amount of $184,486.64 to include the amount of $174,656.64. That's all in the, I don't, I'm probably saying it too fast for you, Donna. To Federal Signal, $8,080 to Midwest Energy, and $1,750 for computer server through the Ellis County IT Department.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Okay, Darren, personal protective gear grant. Better news.
Yes, sir. I applied for another grant from Kansas Forest Service in regards to a 50-50 match grant to allow you buy certain gear or equipment that you would request for. In our continued effort to ensure all of the county firefighters have wildland protective gear, this is a budgeted purchase that would match that grant. So it basically allows us to buy double of what we anticipated
That's great.
originally. So I was just asking the commission to accept this grant so we can move forward with the purchase order on that.
We do.
We do.
With that, I'm done. I'll head over to Victoria.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
best of luck.
Next item is monthly financial report.
I think
Everyone
it's
looked
okay.
at that? Any questions, Barb?
No, not
No?
this
And
time.
Marcy? Okay. Monthly departmental reports. I'm sure you all have looked at your packet enclosed.
Yeah,
As usual, lots of good information in there.
lots of good information. Very interesting.
I know it's like the EMS side and the health side has been busy again, as usual, along with all the other departments. Anyone have
Had
any
some new
questions on
hires.
the departmental reports?
Had some new hires,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't brought them to us yet.
Well, I'm sure they're coming. Any
So-
questions, Barb?
Nope.
No? Marcy? None? We'll move on to high demand occupational premium for shop foreman, county administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, County Administrator Philip Smith Haynes. This is a follow-up item from actually the last 2 meetings. On the 6th of this month, you approved the policy for high demand occupational classifications. Last week, you approved a high demand occupational premium for the position of mechanic. Tonight, we are returning and asking that you extend that also to the position of shop foreman. The shop foreman position supervises the mechanics. That position has been vacant for 11 months. We've had one person who has interviewed for that from outside and decided not to take it due to pay. We do have an internal candidate who's willing to accept the job effective next week if the high demand occupational premium is applied. I would be happy to answer questions.
Well,
Any questions?
something we have to
anyone?
do.
I
Have
don't,
none? Marcy, Barb, I guess not either.
No.
Marcy, I'll make a motion.
I move the commission find that the turnover for the classification of shop foreman has been higher than the average turnover for other county classifications for over the past 3 years, and that the average time to recruit for shop foreman has been more than 10% longer than the average time to recruit for other classifications over the past year, and approve premium pay of 10% to existing and newly hired employees in the shop foreman classification starting August 26, 2018 and ending August 24, 2019.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion, ladies? None? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next, we'll move on to resolution on commissioners' salaries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, County Administrator Philip Smith Haynes. This item is a follow-up from your commission's budget discussion on August 6th. At that time, you asked staff to return with a resolution reducing the salaries of county commissioners by 5%, and that is timed to be effective in conjunction with a previously scheduled 1% raise, which would have been effective for the pay period that begins on September 23rd. I've prepared such a resolution. It has been approved by County Councilor, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, ladies?
No.
Barb, none?
No, I think you
thought
should,
There's the resolution if you
I think you should make the
Huh?
motion since,
want me to.
yeah, since this is your idea.
I move the commission adopt resolution 2018-10.
Second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Any further discussion? None. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0, Donna. We will move on to county council reports. Mr. Jeter.
County Councilor William Jeter, I do not have a report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. County administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. County Administrator Philip Smith Haynes. I just had one item to brief the commission on. We have previously discussed the idea of hiring a consultant to examine our optional benefits and help administer that program, and we did a request for information process last fall on this item. Based on that, I thought that we would not need to add money into the budget for such a consultant. So we went ahead and did a request for proposals this year, time to have someone on board for open enrollment this fall. Turns out they had costs that were higher than what we anticipated based on the RFI. And so in discussions with our human resources professional, we have decided that we are not going to move forward with that at this time. So I just wanted to bring that back to the commission and let you know that.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay.
Is that all? County commissioner reports. Barb?
This week I have Kansas Association of Counties meetings this Thursday, Wednesday night and Thursday. So I'll report back and let
Okay.
you know.
Is that all?
That's it.
I'll have High Plains on Thursday evening.
I have nothing. I guess I haven't been anywhere, so haven't,
Well, we
nothing to
did do
report.
the canvas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2 hours later, we got that done. It was all good.
Watch the paint dry.
That was very interesting, Donna. Thank you.
Mhm.
How that process all worked. So we did get that done. No executive sessions, correct?
The only other thing I wanted to do is publicly thank Mike Morley for filling in for me since I couldn't be at the canvas. I appreciate him coming to my aid as a good citizen, and I appreciate it.
He filled in for you till 6:30, and then I had to appoint Phil to finish
Because
finish
he
the
had to be at
job.
another meeting, didn't he?
Yeah, he had to go
Yes.
to a meeting, so it all worked out. So thank you all for helping out with that. Any other business?
I don't have it.
We will adjourn at 5:32, Donna.